Welcome back to Let's Make a Game, a channel about making computer role-playing games using the free program Twine and the Sugarcube format for Twine. In this video, I would like to continue talking about my current project of trying to code a complete dungeon crawl in 25 days. This is day 7 of the 25-day challenge. Today I would like to talk about this screen, talk about the code that allows this screen to happen. This is the screen that you get when you load up the game, and it's the screen where you will recruit characters to your party. So there's 3 main things that are happening on this screen. First of all, we can click on these pictures to add members. Secondly, we can click on these big pictures to remove members. And thirdly, when appropriate, we have a button that allows us to continue. When we have a character in this slot, that's a viable party, and so we can continue. So let's have a look at the code, which is all in this recruit party passage with some diversions to this one, find next slot. So first of all, we set up a div. This allows us to center everything, and it gives us this ID, which we're going to use for the replace command. The replace command is a way of getting around the fact that by default, Twine will create a little fade out, fade in effect when you move from one screen to the other. So when I press continue, we'll get a little fade out, fade in. It's very quick, but if you look for it, and when I go back, we should get it again. Yeah. Now that's fine occasionally, but if you were getting it every time you clicked, that would look very annoying. And so we need to have some way of telling the program not to do it this time. And we do that with the replace command, and the replace command needs this ID. So the first thing we do, as the note says, is print link pictures. We have a for loop that goes from 1 to class_name.length -1. That is, it goes through every class, currently only 2. We set up this text, which we're going to print either here or down here. Oh, there it is. And because it's in 2 different places, that's why we set it up here rather than typing that long bit of code out twice. And it's just an IMG command, square bracket IMG, square bracket class name. That's the mouse over text, so the things that come up when you do that. The vertical line that separates the mouse over text from the location of the picture. It's probably got a name other than vertical line, but I don't know what it is. And then it just says art/class name, so something like art/warrior plus display gender, that's M or F, depending on whether we're displaying the male or female characters. And then 96. I've named all the files with their size. Makes it easier to keep track of them. So it depends whether next_slot, which is the next available slot, is greater than max_party, the maximum size of the party. If it is, that means it's not an available slot at all. In fact, the party is full. So in that case, we will print special grey pictures that are not links. In fact, I didn't put 96 in that because there's only one size of grey picture. So if I fill up links, then you can see that we suddenly get those grey pictures and they've ceased to be links because we can't add any more characters. If the party's not full, we have something slightly more complicated. It's a colour picture and it's a link. So like these ones. And we do this thing where we put all this code as text into a temporary variable and then print it, because if we printed it as we went, in my experience, the computer has problems with that. So it's a link, and the rest of what we're going to see here is just a bunch of code that happens when we click the link, because the link doesn't take us anywhere. Normally, of course, links will send you to another passage. This one doesn't. We set the next_slot to be the text of that particular class. We do the same thing with gender. Then we have to find the next slot, which means we set it to 1 and then include find next slot. And then we replace hashtag whole, which is this thing up here, the top of the screen, downwards, with the passage recruit party, which is this passage. And that effectively means that we're going back to this screen, but because we're using replace, it doesn't do that fade out, fade in effect, and therefore looks a bit better. And that seems to be all we have time for in this video. So I will leave it there for now. I hope that was useful or interesting to at least some of you, and I hope you will tune in next time.